Hello, welcome Solex Nation. You know what? It is March 1st, and with that brings a new incentive for March.
Yes, it is time to cap off this 90-day run. For those that are enrolling other folks, new QLAs or new preferred customers, the incentive this month, as a reminder, is you get a box of SEFIdots.
60 SEFIdots.
Yeah, not a SEFIdot.
No.
That would be not so great. But a box of SEFIdots for every new QLA or preferred customer that you enroll.
That is an awesome incentive.
Now, the one thing that we'll note on this one is that those boxes will send out at the end of the month, because some are enrolling 2, 3, 4, 10 in a month. And so we'll bundle those all together and send them out after the end of this month. But just know that for every new person that you enroll that's a QLA or a preferred customer, you're going to get a box of SEFIdots. That's pretty good value, I think.
You know what? I love these incentives that we've put out. There's another one that we launched back in January. It actually was at the end of January, beginning of February.
Yeah.
So we're talking about Punta Cana.
Yeah, we're talking about Punta Cana, which we launched Punta Cana back at the last day of discovery.
Right.
But this is to earn a spa package.
We added an incentive, yes. So this is to earn the spa package. Do you remember what they had to get?
Yeah, they had to enroll 3
people.
3 people.
And it can be 3 in January, 3 in February, 3 in March, 1 in each. It doesn't matter where they are, just as long as they're January through March, you've enrolled 3 people, either
QLAs or preferred
PC,
customer.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then you will get the spa package when you get to Punta Cana. Now, does this mean that they earned Punta Cana?
No,
Okay.
It doesn't mean. It just means that when you earn Punta Cana, which is a different way of tracking, you will have a spa package added on top. Now, what happens if you earn the Punta Cana trip for 2?
You get
2 spa packages. And like I've said before, you can use them on your own, both of them for you, or you can share it with the guests that you're bringing.
That's right.
Just
All right,
depends
should we take a list? No, a couple of weeks ago, we showed who had already earned that spa package, and there are more people added to that list. Should we show them the list?
Let's do it.
Okay. That is a great list. Congratulations to all of you who have already earned the spa package, and we look forward to updating that list at the end of March.
All right, and if that wasn't enough, we have this
more.
double bonus, right? If you, during this January, February, March period, if you actually get 6 people, QLAs or preferred customers, with an auto ship, then you get an additional $250 bonus paid out in April. And we already have people there.
We do. We already have people who have earned that $250 bonus. And should we list those? We'll list those at the end of March. So we can show everyone who earned that $250 bonus. But hey, it's March 1, so you have an entire month to get that done.
Yeah, and we've seen several people get 6 in a month.
We have 6 in a week.
Yeah, they're amazing.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about something maybe not as positive as this, but it's something that we've been working on. We always are working on this. You've noticed that devices, the mobile device, the headsets and lightwave glasses have been on backorder or pre-order.
Yes.
With Chinese New Year and logistics in general, it's always been a challenge, and we've always been scrambling to find different sources and opportunities to bring in the solutions that meet our standards for you guys. And we're in the throes of one of those right now, and we've been working our way through. In fact, as of today, we have 1 delivery that's sitting here in customs, and we're just waiting on customs to say, okay, here, you can have these items.
Yes.
And so we're excited that these will be back in stock and with you and available and be shipping out for those that have already placed the order. But just so you know that we do have that information, will be a little bit more forward, I guess, with letting you know the status of each of those things as we move our way through the process. Now, one of the things I do want to note is that with the device, the mobile device in general, is as we make strides in improving the AO scan technology, one of the things that is so powerful and actually is helping us across the board is the lift of the technology, the coding of that, and making it more efficient and lighter in such a way where you could actually use your subscription on another device, on a computer, on another laptop.
I do it all the time.
Yeah, on a tablet. If you have an iPad, you can use it on that. You just go to the link and you can use that service while the actual dedicated device is on its way to you.
Yeah.
So we just want to make sure you're there.
If you're new and you just signed up and you're waiting for your device, you don't need to wait. You can use your subscription now on a device of your choice. And also, that's a great thing to tell people when you're signing them up. They don't need to wait. Because we sign up for something, we sign up, and you still, even if we had it in stock, you still have to get it. It takes a little while to get it to you.
Yeah.
So you want to use it right away. You're able to do that. So that's always a good tip to share.
Yeah. So on with that. So those are all coming back. They're all slated within the next days. If not, a couple of them are maybe a week or so.
Yes.
But they're all coming in, and they'll all be available and shipping out for those that have placed orders for those.
Okay. Next week, we have Dave Discovery coming up on
It's finally here, the
Thursday,
virtual
the 9th.
Dave Discovery.
I know, we've been talking about it for so long, and it's finally here next Thursday. Now, in preparation for that, we will not be holding a weekly update call on the 8th, on Wednesday the 8th, because Dave Discovery.
Yes.
So if you aren't going, get your tickets now. It's going to be wonderful. I'm excited for some new launches and some scanner updates and other things that we're doing.
We have a bunch of different things being presented. A lot of fun topic, a lot of fun information. I mean, not just to become more masterful of what we offer here at Solex, but also in such a way where you can just get excited about what you're involved in, I think.
Yes, and be more masterful of your life.
Yes.
Not just of the scanner.
Now, how are you going to get the information? Well, what we're going to do is once Dave Discovery launches, you're going to get an email sent to you with your own link to the course. And then we'll also give you the coupon code that will be associated with your account that you can use to get the 20% off during that week of the Dave Discovery on almost every product that we have.
Yes.
There's a few that we don't and we never discount, or we rarely discount, like the subscription. It just never gets discounted. It just won't. But everything else, there's so many other things that are and some launches.
Yeah, some new launches.
So
we won't give away anything else, but we're just really excited for that for next Thursday.
So check your email. Make sure to check your
email.
junk mail, and also make sure your account is set up to be able to receive communication from us. If it's not, then obviously it won't make it to you. And then we'll have a little bit of a struggle trying to make sure we open that up and get it to you.
And if you can't find that login email, then on Thursday the 9th, just give us a call and customer service will help you with that. All right, before we jump on to the next topic though, we did put out a video, a little trailer about what our Day of Discovery is going to look like. Now, it doesn't incorporate every speaker. There will be more than this, but it does give a good taste of what it's going to look like. So if you haven't seen that, we would like to show that to you right now.
We have a wealth of potential education for our bodies and ways that we can help our health, both physical, emotional, spiritual, however you want to look at it, just in the palm of our hand.
That just because these things show up energetically isn't dooming them to these are the things that they're going to get. It's something where they can energetically, using their scanner, improve the frequencies of their body.
That if you create your networks with trust, diversity, and brokerage, you can raise your level of information from what you know to who you know.
You want to look at all of those parts of the body because all of those together are going to contribute to being able to heal.
I had no idea how to describe the AO scan or frequencies at the beginning, and I was terrified to even try, but honestly, I just dove all in and went for it and figured it out along the way.
I learned about a lot of things that had been affecting, and they came as answers that I had had questions for a very long time.
And, all these organs and systems actually work together. So as, one is dumping the toxins, another one is going to be, like you said, coming in and cleaning them up. So it's important to kind of know what each of those organs and systems are doing.
So when someone wants to see this science, let me tell you what happened to me.
The only way we can actually be liberated is we have to know where we came from, why we're here, and where we're going.
Let's use this tool that we've been given, this gift of frequency, and the understanding that we have now about frequency.
So the whole point of creating goals is to crush them.
And you have all of those miasms in your homeoenergetics. So we want to just work with our scanners to be able to see these frequencies, see them come and go, but pay attention to when they come and go and what we can do to help people with these.
Tell me what I can do. Don't tell me what I can't.
Okay, let's move on to our contest from last week. We are going to give away one of my all-time favorite supplements ever, Think.
Yes, that is. We're going to give it away to 3 people.
Yes.
Because last week we asked you to comment on what is the one thing that you're going to implement into your business from learning from Anton and Sophie, right?
That's right. Okay, so we're going to draw 3 winners right now.
Let's do it. All right, first one is, I picked 3 altogether. Denise Nitty. Thank you for another amazing training. I'm going to focus on simplifying my business by focusing on the inner voice scan and sharing my story as well as others with my clients. Love that. Yeah.
Yes.
Inner voice, one of my favorites.
Perfect thing to lead with.
Oops. You probably got a good line of sound. I just
You hit your microphone? All right. This is Jen Cathy. I'm going to call several friends and also my old clients and just share how the balancing harmonics have helped me get through this first year after losing my mom. Relating to others' pain and giving them a way to get through hard times is so very important. Jen, sorry to hear about your mom, but that's a great goal to have.
Yeah, and another inner voice related one. People love inner voice. All right, last one. For Think, here it is. John Donnell. John, hola Solex. Very good video with useful advice. I like to play acting format. Like the rehearsals.
Yes, yeah.
I love that too. It would be good to do this with the QLA involved.
Yeah.
I plan to implement free trials to help show people that we are interested in helping them and not making money. There will be no charge for service unless they are satisfied with the trial and want to become regular customers, or better yet, join the team. Gracias, John Donald. John, congratulations. Good idea. Great strategy.
Yeah.
Way to get people in safely.
Yes.
Right?
Well, and we are all about helping people. So I love that that's what you're focusing on.
And that's so aligned with sharing.
Oh, it is.
Right?
It completely is.
Like no commitment, no obligations before you experience something. And we love that when people have experience, they usually get committed.
That's right. And speaking of sharing and becoming committed, let's go over our top enrollers.
Oh, good transition.
Thank
right
you.
There.
Thanks. And this is for the week of
February 20th to 26th.
There are no ties this week.
No ties.
Can't believe it. But we do know these names.
Yeah.
So second place this week, we have Sheila Day.
Sheila Day. We've seen her so many times.
Lots of times. You're doing
what
great.
a hard worker. Incredible. Yes. And we've seen this name too. Drum roll for number 1, Rita Dickinson. Solex silver coin coming to you.
Rita, I think this is your 400th Solex silver coin. You wiped us out. No.
Yeah. We're going to load them up on a pallet and send them to you.
Great job to both of you. Well done. So, all right, well, we're going to go ahead and get on with our training today. And we have Deborah Bruce here.
Yes, the Bruce.
Good evening. It's a pleasure to be here again. This is going to be a little bit different from what I normally do because usually I use a PowerPoint in order to have reference, but this time I clipped out a bunch of questions that you guys put in after the Wednesday call when Kai and Lauren said, give me some questions. So I picked out some of them. I'll probably be doing a couple more Wednesday night calls with more of the questions, but you're going to kind of see me flipping back and forth between papers because I clipped out the questions and then I also clipped out some of my responses. So it's going to be kind of informal, but here we go. So one of the questions that came through was, actually 2 of them, was about the explanation of the brain and the scanner. One of them was asking about what was I referring to when I say the brain? Was I saying that the scanner is the brain? And I wanted to clear that up right away because anytime that you hear me in any Wednesday night call or any kind of training or module, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, whenever I say that the brain has picked something out or is choosing something or is interacting with something, I'm actually talking about the actual brain of the person that's being scanned. So whether it's remotely, whether it's yourself, whether it's somebody that you're working on, anytime that you hear the expression, the brain, it's actually talking about the physical brain that is involved with the scan that is going on. So I wanted to clear that up to begin with, and then just wanted to give a few examples of how that would work. So how does the brain figure in with the scanner? Well, think about some of the things that you've heard in the past. For example, with inner voice, what has Lauren always said? Lauren has always said, stop. And first, before you do the inner voice, stop and think for a couple minutes or a few seconds on something that would make you really happy, something that would make you sad, so that you would be activating the vagus nerve and getting it where when you talk for inner voice and you start with your name, which he says is one of the most powerful statements that you can make, then you do your inner voice. Well, that right there at the beginning is an interaction that affects the outcome of when you're using the scanner. Okay. And then we know that listening to the inner voice, where you're using the binaural tones of it, that there is a effect on the brain as far as right and left brain, the frontal cortex, the primal brain. So that's another case where something that the mobile scanner is doing is interacting with the brain. Another example is when you are doing your initial scan. Okay. When you're doing the initial scan, you're sending in the gold standard for what is healthy tissue. And then you're getting a response where you're getting 1s, 9s, 2s, 8s, 3s, 7s, 4, 5, 6s, whatever. That's an evaluation that's being done by the brain of the person that's being scanned to give a report card on what is going on in the body. Now, converse to that, when you optimize, you're sending back in the gold standard of frequencies just into the body so that it can actually stimulate the different parts of the body at that time. So that's another example of how one part of the scan is being evaluated by the brain, but then when you send the optimization frequencies back in, they're just going to the specific target, and then you see the numbers change or stay the same. Another way that you know that there is interreaction with the brain of the person and your mobile scanner is the fact that you have in phase 2 and phase 3, you end up getting reports where it shows high cause, low cause, number of years, percentages. So there's an interaction with the brain of the person that's being scanned. And so that's how the report is able to be generated after the scan is finished. Another example is homeoenergetics. Homeoenergetics is where the program actually if you've done phase 3, you see where after the person has been scanned and you go to homeoenergetics, it actually produces choices for each part of the body that has been scanned and also lists if they're ideal or not ideal. And then you're able to imprint from that information. So there has been an evaluation by the brain in order to be able to show which remedies are the ones that would be the priority. And also in the background, there are frequencies that have been chosen by the brain for that particular remedy, for that particular part of the body. So there's a very specific interaction between the brain, this being the person's brain, never the words the brain, never referring to the scanner, between the brain of the person being scanned and then an interaction with the mobile scanner. So it was a good question about the brain. One of the ones about the brain asked what other adjuncts might there be that work well with the mobile scanner. And they made reference to like rife frequencies, other different things that could be used in conjunction with the mobile scanner. And one thing I can tell you is if you have access at all to a theta center, then you have got an access to some of the best things that work with a mobile scanner. The theta chamber, the hypercube, the LED bed, all kinds of different things that have been made by energy development that are completely complementary to what you see in your mobile scanner. So I really would encourage you to check out any theta center that is near you, or if you have a chance to travel to one, that would be a great way to have really, really complementary adjuncts to your mobile scanner. The second one that I was going to look at was a question on how do you look at spices? There was a great presentation on a Wednesday night that was talking about how, by Becky, on how you could look at foods from the vital standpoint as to whether maybe you needed iron or something, that which was why a food was showing up the way that it was showing up. It was just an excellent presentation. And so this question was, well, do we have to look at spices the same way? And a couple of the things that I wanted to mention that I've seen working with that is some of the spices actually can be used also as essential oils. And when they're processed to the point that they're essential oils, there are different ones that they have cautions about, you know, as far as how they interact with the body. And so you might look at spices kind of the same way. We know that cinnamon has a lot to do with digestion, blood sugar levels. Ginger can affect the digestion. Cardamom is another one that can interact with the body. But there's another aspect to spices that you might think about also, that might be why spices are coming up as something that is affecting the body. And that's that we've seen over the years that spices that are organic react in the body differently than spices that aren't organic. And it's kind of become clear, at least in my clinic working with people, that when people use spices that aren't organic, by the time they grind them up, a lot of the times it's almost like they're eating ground up pesticides. So we're starting to see that when they switch from spices that aren't organic to spices that are organic, that sometimes that provides a resolution for why the spices have been showing up as having an inflammatory or reducing function in the body. Let's see. The third one that we're going to consider was a good question about why could you have knee pain, and you know that the knee pain's there, it's shown up as having inflammation, it's obvious, but why doesn't the scanner show it? And this is a good, really good question. I think I gave on a Wednesday night call another example, a similar example, where I had a woman who came in and we had been working with her, and we knew that she had stage 4 breast cancer in both breasts. And she had been doing a lot of really hard work with a lot of practitioners. She was eating organically, she was taking all of her herbs, she had cut out sugar, she was doing everything that she possibly could that was from an alternative standpoint to try to work with this breast cancer. And it got to the point where she came in for one appointment, and all of the tissue, when we scanned it, came up with 5s in all the little boxes. Every single one of them was 5. And she just looked at it and was like, how could that possibly be? I know that I have breast cancer. And the reason was that the brain was looking at the frequency of those areas and seeing that everything was vibrating at an awesome frequency. And sure enough, it was 4 or 5 months later that she went, and her oncologist told her she was in total remission. It was gone. So the brain was able to recognize, the brain being her brain, was able to recognize that she was in a very, very good state of frequency throughout all the tissue, throughout the breast area. So the same thing could happen with the knees. It could be that somebody is working with different modalities for the knees, and the brain is looking at the frequencies in that area and seeing that at this time, it's not the priority. Now, why would that be? Well, it could be because there's something else in the body that is making it where the knees are just a symptom. And so the brain, the person's brain, in its ability to look and see what needs to be done in the body, would make some other area of the body a priority first. For example, the adrenals can have a large effect on the knees. Maybe the person needs chiropractic or acupuncture of the spine in an area that is sending signal to the knee area. Maybe there's a nutritional deficiency that is contributing to what's going on in the knees. And so the person's brain will pick out what needs to be done in what order, and then eventually the knees will show up. But first it's going to do what needs to be done in order to get to the point where the knees can be worked with directly. So that may be why the knees aren't showing up, because there's something that needs to be worked with first in the body before the knees can become the priority. The next one that we're going to look at was questions on do I have a playlist that I can't live without? What are some of your favorite lists or frequencies that you would put in a playlist? And if there were certain frequencies that I would add to all playlists. Those were 3 good questions, and basically my favorite playlist is whatever the body needs at the time. It changes from scan to scan, it changes from day to day, it changes from experience to experience, and so that's why Lauren's always saying that the inner voice is so important, because when you do your inner voice, it's going to show you different emotions that are coming up, different things that need to be addressed in order to improve the overall emotional health. And so by looking at what comes up even from just your inner voice, you're able to then pick from the different options that you have, especially in your SEFI, different things that can support what shows up in the inner voice. So in phase 2 or phase 3, when you get your emotional conflict list, then it's even easier to look at the different parts of the body that have come up as having emotions connected to them, and then go directly to your SEFI, to the different categories that you have, and pick out from those different categories the things that will support those parts of the body. So for me, playlists change all the time. One of my favorite things that I do use a lot is the ultimate emotions in homeoenergetics, because that is able to directly work with a lot of the emotions and just be a good, almost like putting scaffolding under the emotions in the body and just being a really good support. But there's so many things in your SEFI and in your scanner that you can do to use different playlists, that I would encourage you just to look each scan at what's coming up and what needs support, and then go into the different options and make up your current favorite playlist from that information. The next one that I wanted to do was a question on, it was an interesting one on mercury and vitamin C. And we've kind of covered this before, I think, on some Wednesday night calls. And I think it's even a little bit in basic training. But it was saying, what is the thought process when you see a 1 for vitamin C or a 1 for mercury, or a 9 for vitamin C versus a 9 for mercury? And a lot of this has to do with whether or not something is something that you would want to consume. So if you have vitamin C and there's a 1, then a lot of times there's a deficiency in the body and the vitamin C is needed. If you have vitamin C and it's a 9, a lot of times there's an inflammatory response in the body and it still needs vitamin C to help with the inflammation. So because vitamin C is something that could be taken, a lot of times it's where a 1 or a 9 still indicates the need for vitamin C. Now, mercury is different. With mercury, if you have a 1 with mercury, then the area that's showing up for the mercury could have a reduction in energetic ability to function because of what's there. It could be that at some point they're going to need to do a heavy metal detox. Same thing with a 9. If you see mercury and it has 9 associated with it, then it can be that the mercury in that area is causing an inflammatory response. It's something that, again, at some point would need to have a heavy metal detox. So it's a little bit different when it's something that can be taken as a supplement as opposed to something that is showing up that wouldn't be something that you would be taking internally. And then the last question that I wanted to address, this one just made me laugh when I read it, and I just got a great big smile. So I just wanted to just answer. It was question for Deb. Will you come to Ecuador for our Spanish Day of Discovery? And I just laughed because I appreciated that somebody would even think to ask me if I would come. But I got to tell you, my Spanish, no, I can't speak Spanish, so I don't know that I would be much help or of much use at a Spanish Day of Discovery, but I just appreciated the fact that somebody would even ask. So anyway, thank you for that question. It brought a big smile to my face when I read it. So that's just a few of the questions that were on that Wednesday night call. I'll be doing a couple more times where I kind of shuffle paper like this and try to answer some more of your questions. So appreciated the fact that you asked them, and I'll look forward to answering some more in the future.
Well, you know, Cana, the GoFundMe thing worked because you did get a new shirt.
Yes,
I'm really happy about that.
I did get a new shirt. Thank you, Shelby.
But it wasn't the GoFundMe.
No, it wasn't from the GoFundMe. And I would have been happy to donate to my own GoFundMe just to get a new shirt, I guess, to make people happy. That's what we do. Well, you know what? We had the Bruce on. We love having Deb Bruce.
Deb's awesome, isn't she?
She's amazing. She knows so much. But it's giveaway time, and so this week we're giving away the Tiger's Eye bracelet.
And I love the Tiger's Eye bracelet. It's so cool. I mean, you got all the components of it. You've got the negative ions, you got the magnetic, you got the Tiger Eye.
Yeah, and what is the benefit of the magnetic bead?
The magnetic field of the magnetic bead is keeping the negative ion energy in those beads active.
Because
active
between
longer, right.
the different magnets.
So combined with putting this in the sun, getting the energy from the sun, the charge from the sun, the magnetic field keeps those beads active longer.
Yeah.
So the imprint, theoretically, is active longer.
Well, so I like that idea. And then we also have the Tiger's Eye themselves, which have their own benefits, right?
That's right.
So you said imprint. Let's do this. On this week's call, comment, what do you imprint?
Yeah.
What is it that you imprint? And then next week, we're going to draw 3 names and give away 3 of the oldie but goodie Tiger's Eye bracelets. How about that?
See you next week.
That was a little rough.
I thought it went okay, right?
I'm happy.
Yeah.
We are happy.
Yeah. And I have a new shirt.
You can always cut out the first part.
No, that was good. That was good.